Future Trading, I'd like to welcome you to the channel. Got a lot of information I'm going to share with you. Start with this video if you're new, and then here, if you're having problems timing your bar, I do it based on seconds, and you can know what type of bar it's going to be before it even closes, and where the high and the low is being set while it's still moving. Threshold, how far the candle pulled back, the price action trend, you just need to be able to count to 10. The price action method, I use the majority principle, which states the minority is compelled to follow. And then the chart scale, I teach you how to read your bezel. If you've been on social media here, I've been posting some videos, and hopefully you can benefit from some of this information. And if not, then join me. All right. And if you would like to, if you have the suite, then I hope you're here. But if not, if you just want to see some of the information that we're putting on this channel here, you're more than welcome. Come and take a look. Indications here, educations here. All right. So just try to keep that in mind. All right, so we got all the different markets because I'm always covering the NQ, and I want to help you guys with the other markets because it's pretty much one and the same. Center of the chart, just try to come to the center of your chart and divide it in half. That's the first thing you'll want to do. Just where are we at, in all of it. Okay, just come to the center of the chart. That high on that NQ is weak, so they should go back up. It may not be today, but this is a problem, so they should get back up there. Oh, okay, and so we got our goal here. Okay, so if you want to do this, you can just come here. They were roughly at the center, so if they wanted to, they can turn it back around. Now we got our crude oil here. It's not okay. I'm about to say it went to sleep on us. I'm not going to be before you long. All right, just do that. This is giving us all of it, and what is all of it? All right, let me go ahead and tell you what you're looking for. You got to get. Let's do the down scenario. Okay, you got to get the mid to exceed the low, right? Or the mid to exceed the high. The mid of the live candle, so the one that's jumping up and down, the one that's moving here, that live one, you got to get that to happen. And then once it exceeds the high or the low, you listen to the market, not me. All right, if it does that, you would measure that and project it, and that's telling you how far a price would travel. All right, so let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do just that. That's saying it's going to go right back through that pivot. All right, now here's the thing. We had that scenario from this side, and it's not to say it can't work. It can work, it can go down, but they haven't made this one either. And it can't be both. All right, so let's just try to see what this is going to turn into. I don't like what's here, but try to just listen to them. Now, if they're going to go down, the threshold here is your real issue. Now, the threshold is just right outside the mid. You don't want them to go too far in your bar because when they go too far, they'll run the stop. Okay, so don't stick around for that. Go too far, they'll run your bar. Just try to. They normally would pull down into your bar and then rip. They will go. All right. So normally they'll pull back into your bar and then they'll rip. That's what you're looking for. All right. So try to get that to happen. If not, this is the next thing you're looking for: big wick, little wick. So you just want a big wick, little wick scenario. And if you can't get that, try to find this. You got to get a body that can fit into this one twice. Most of the time, you're going to get two. But if you can get all three, then just fantastic. All right, so here's all three. All right, that's all three. All right, and then from this side, you had all three as well. So it can't be both. All right, so one of them have to fail. All right, just try to keep in mind then the lower half of the chart. And then once you get the lower half of the chart, here's the next thing I want you to do: divide it in half one more time. All right, so just divide it in half one more time. Let's do the same thing over here. Why not? There, hold on. Let me get us our divider. I'm not going to be before you long again. I don't want to bore you. I see the support and dropped off to 5 likes. So it's time for me to just go ahead and go. I'm not going to keep sticking around. I'm going to go and build my other channel. All right. Just keep in mind what I'm telling you. If you're new, just try to keep this in mind. It's simple. So don't try to overcomplicate things. Don't make this really difficult. It's really simple. Try to find the big wick, little wick, small body, bigger body. And if you can, get this going. All right. Now, once you can find this, the next thing I'm gonna want you to do is see, can you get a trend developed? All right. So let's go with this because they had a few of them off this bottom. I'm starting not to like this bottom, but they made quite a few of them. So that's one, two, that's three. Here's four, five. That's only six. That's not seven. So they can go back down. We got to get seven. All right. So that's only six. That's not going to work. All right. So we have a trend from above. All right, so from above we have a trend. So we got one, two, three, four. They have to close lower. Five, six, and that's seven. All right, so now when they make the trend, it's just like the pattern itself. All right, they typically would go the distance of the trend. All right, so now there's two ways they can go about it. They can do it this way. Let me just color this. I'm gonna talk about the gold and the crude. I'm gonna get down there. It's just they're moving like a little slower. That's all. They're moving a little slower. So I want to reference some information that's actually moving. All right, so here, now they can very much do something like this, and if that be the case, they're going through that bottom. All right, so just try to keep that in mind. Sometimes they'll reach up, and it's like you and I. Whenever you have a thought, you have the end in mind, right? So you got primary and secondary values. So what you tend to want to go with is the primary thing, all right? So they'll come to the center of the trend or the cost of the thought, because every idea that you have, there's a value set to it, all right? And what it means to you is that value. And so sometimes they'll come to the center of that and then begin to resume. So you have to pick and choose what's likely. What's likely? So they're beneath the center here. All right, so they're beneath the center of our the lower half of our chart. Let's say that they're beneath the center of the chart, but the lower half. Let's color this so I don't get this confused because it's throwing me off a little bit. All right, so let's do this. Let's just color that. All right, so let's just do that. We're gonna do the same thing with this as well. It's throwing me off a little bit. All right, so here I don't like this bottom, but I definitely don't like that top. I don't like this top at all. Let's see if they're going to get it to work. All right, now they're suggesting. Now this is all the market does. It suggests. All right, now they're coming back towards the center. They're doing this. All right, so that's suggesting that they can come even higher. Now if you go over here to the NQ, we can go to that threshold right there. How far is too far? Let's go here. Let's go how far is too far scenario. I gotta move this up just a hair. All right, so right about there. How far is too far? Let's see if they tend to behave. Now this one we still got it. They're just pulling up to it. Now gold is trying to move. Even okay, crude oil is wanting to do something as well. So now with the crude oil, we only got 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 5. So let's start counting them out. And again, I'm not going to be up here long. It's on 7 minutes right now. So just stick around and try to run this for about 15 minutes to give you some information, and then I must go. And again, come back and watch this video. Again, this is all 4 markets with nothing but what's standard on the platform. All right, we got our little bar timer here. I did try to grab this here. I got one of these, but it got more information on it. I'm not wanting to do that for this video. If you want to see that, come over to my channel. All right, so the other channel, Day Trader Today. All right. But I just wanted to get you a high and low so you can kind of see it as I touch it. You know, you may want to measure the highs and the low. All right, so here we go. So we're going down further. Now, of course, we have a trend from below. If you want to use this information over here, it's totally up to you. You don't have to. But if you want to use that information, you do have a trend from below. So let's just look at that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the center of that will be roughly right here. Now, I'm going to just make this line green. All right, you don't have to look left. I told you everything that's happening on the right hand side will absolutely stop, affect your stop placement. All right, so you'll want to make sure just read what's on the right hand side, the right margin of the chart, because hindsight will never stop you out, nor will it stop me out. All right, so you want to make sure you just kind of keep that in mind. Reading that hard right edge is important. All right, so let's just do this. Kind of throw that in there. Now it's telling us something because the mid exceeded the low. The mid of this live candle exceeded the low. All right, now notice it pulled up to the center of our chart here, and this is what it suggests, that it's going that far. 245, so somewhere down there. All right, now I'm not going to be up here for that, and I just want to go ahead and say that, but that's what it's suggesting. All right, now they're in this threshold. All right, they're in the threshold. Let's see what they do. They haven't left here yet. All right, let's just kind of pull this forward. All right, they haven't left yet. All right. Oh yeah, so they're trying to turn. I don't like this term, but I think it's better than this one, and we'll just go with that. It's a lot better than this one up here. All right, so they can absolutely reverse this and go back this way and just go ahead and go up and stay up. All right. So that's what that's suggesting here. Now, of course, price can pull into your bar. All right, that's what it just did, pulled into the bar. And I'm going threshold. I'm eyeballing this, people. It's not perfect. All right, they can pull into your bar and they supposed to go again. Now, this is my preferred choice, this one here, because this is what created that midpoint exceeding. It created this. All right, so my preferred way of going about it is here, but yes, it can go off this one as well. Either which one is fine. All right, so it just depends on how you're trying to interact with this information. All right, so we may have a little trend here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6, and that's 7. Now, if it wants to go up, I know it don't look like much, but if it wants to go up, I believe. Oh, let me look at this low. 73.10. Let's get this low. I'm sorry. Let's get the low. 73.04. Okay, I was looking at the other one. Oh 04. So yeah, that's even. All right. So I don't like this turn. I think they can blow it. I absolutely must tell you that. All right, so that's saying they'll get to the center of the chart if they're going to hold this trend. That's what it's saying. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that they'll blow this, but they're at the lower half. Let's go lower half again. Do keep up. Everything I'm telling you, just apply it across the board. I'm not diving into actually reading the bar itself. I'm not doing that here. You would have to go and watch those videos, those 4 videos there, and I go over that. I did include the bar timer, so if you're someone that already watched those videos, you can apply that information and know if the high or the low of the bar is actually being set, and whether or not it'll end bullish or bearish. You'll already know that if you watch those videos. So I put the timer here particularly for you. I'm not going to do that here. All right, again, the support is down to like 5 likes, so I'm not going to exhaust myself any further. But for those that are here that's new, this is why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for you. If you're new, you're having trouble reading this plain chart, there's nothing on it. Everything that's here, I'm drawing it. I'm just going to draw it up here for you. If you're having a hard time, then this should help quite a bit. Now, what's happening with this ES? Interesting scenario here. You have your threshold here. Now, let's say they want to go up. They pushed down into it a couple times. They had the pattern that we need, which is this, exceeding the high. They kind of stuck between two, but we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt on this one and just go like this and just try to get an eye as to what that looks like. And it's saying it can go up there. All right, and they're slightly above the halfway point because it adjusts. Now I do provide a image that you can put on the back, background, and it'll put the halfway point, on both sides. It'll draw all of that, and you wouldn't have to draw it. All right, it's stationary. It would just remain in place. All right, so they pulled up. We got to bring that halfway point down. They hit that threshold. All right, but we're gonna bring this down just a hair. It's a little too high. Now again, I'm going estimation here. All right, they pulled up, turning away from it. They can absolutely blow this low. What we doing here? Kind of the same thing, rotating. I'm using the bezel. Now here's what I want to say. I'm pulling on 12 minutes here. I want to say this before I go. Whatever component that you need for your trading, that's what you need to take away from what I'm showing you right now. Do not try to absorb everything that I'm telling you, okay? Take the component that you actually need. If you need how to get into the trade while the bar is moving, I'm not covering that particularly, based on whether or not the bar will be bullish or bearish. I'm not doing that here. You have to watch the series of videos. It's just 4 videos, but knowing how far it's going to go, I'm showing you that. Okay, I am showing you that. I'm putting the projections out there. It's just whether or not they want to hit it in the allotted time that I'm up here. They made this one. All right. I don't know if they're going to make any others because it's 13 minutes. I'm not going to hold this video much longer. All right. But you would want to take the pieces that you need. If you're having trouble with the market always turning, and that may be an issue. So don't look to prior pivots. Look to your bezel. Your bezel is important. So look to your hard right edge. This is your hard right edge. This is your bezel. So you come to the center of your chart and you do this, right? You would do that and divide that in half and then divide it again. If you just need to know where your stop need to be, I want you to use the bar pattern. All right. I want you to use the midpoint exceeding, because if it's not doing this, it's going to do something else. And I've went over this before and I'll go over it again. If it's not doing that, this is what it's doing. You're going to get 4 or more bars behaving as such, okay? And then you're going to run into a problem. There's a way to trade this. I provide tools that guide you along when it comes to this, but it's most important that you understand that you need to look for this, all right? So it's 14 minutes here. I'm not going to stay any longer. So take away the piece that you need. The channel is free information worth thousands of dollars. My indicators the same way. I'm not giving them away for free. All right, I'm giving away education for free. All right, and I want to make sure that you guys have a fighting chance in these markets. $100 if you want the indicators, you don't need them. I want to go ahead and say that you don't need them. The alternative is that you go to a different vendor, pay a monthly subscription, or pay $300-400 for one indicator. I'm giving away hundreds for just $100. Supply and demand zones, all of it. All right, so if you're interested, you're more than welcome to come over here and just take a peek at some of these tools that I have. A lot of real-time indications, tons of stuff. All right, come over here. I suggest if you are in the market for indicators, come here and look at this list. I'm displaying what my indicators are doing. All right, I'm showing you what they are. If you're interested, come and get those. But first, if you don't know how to read a chart, please stay here on futures trading and keep watching these videos until you get that to work. My indicators or no indicators will work until you understand how to read price. I wish you the best with your trading. Take care.